rise again. We know this is what we're meant to do. So we wake up, put our feet on the floor, go and conquer the day like a warrior, like warriors. Cause that's what a tribe does. We got your back so you can relax and focus on all the important stuff, like getting your business done. This is our tribe. We look out for each other. That's right, that's right. This is our tribe. We help each other grow in business and life. That's right, that's right. Each other, that's right, that's right. This is our tribe. We help each other grow in business and life.
Good afternoon, everybody. Happy Monday, and welcome to the Coffee Shop Conversation Show. We are well into November, and that means that word that you're not supposed to speak just about yet in business terms is not that far around the corner. But that also means that holidays are also around the corner, excitingly. And that is today's topic of conversation. We are doing a Coffee Shop Conversation Show about preparing for the holidays and what one might do to gear up for that. I'm James Brown, your voiceover with soul from James Brown Voice. And my co-host, as well, I won't say as always, especially as I've been away for the last 3 weeks, but most of the time is the lovely Miss Sondra Ray. How are you, Sondra? Good to see you
I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, we're back together. It's been a minute. I hope you enjoyed your holiday off.
Oh, God, yes.
Yes, and I'm super excited. I'm Sondra Ray, your goal accountability coach, owner of Get It Done Coaching. And yeah, preparing for holidays. Yeah, this was actually a topic for my family this weekend. Preparing when you have adult children, who needs to be where, when, and what. Also business-wise, my husband's taking some time off in December. So he's like, are you working? Are you not working? So yeah, we are very much in our household and in my business planning for November and December. So I'm super excited to hear how everybody's doing that because everybody has their own little way. So love it, love it.
And who would like to start us off on this one? If anyone has things that they've got planned for the end of Q4 as we head into 2024. And Lesetja is there up in the top left-hand corner. He's got his hand up first of all. Hello, sir. How are you? Oh, can't hear you, mate. No, we've got a little bit of technical. Okay, well, let's Lesetja get on with some technical transformations there, and we'll go to Steve Levy. Hello, Stephen. How are you?
Good to see you, James. I'm well, thank you, and hope everybody is well on the show. And yeah, quite interesting topic. I suppose it's made us realize that, well, 2023 has gone already, or just about. So how quickly this year has gone. Tough year, but exciting times. And planning for the holidays. I think a big thing that comes up for me, which I'm often questioned about with my family, is when you come on holiday, be on holiday. So yeah, it's probably a lesson that I've learned from them, because I'm only there often in the past physically, but mentally still at work. Not easy to totally disconnect from work, but I think it's a conscious effort and planning to, if you're going to take a holiday, I know it's not always possible, but when you're on holiday, try and not make it a working holiday, because then you may as well stay at work. And it's not fair to yourself, to your family, and to those people you're on holiday with, however long that holiday is. Of course, we got to be mindful. You were speaking in the beginning about time changes. And if you are working with clients in other parts of the world, to be mindful when they're on holiday and when they're not, and how you can still extend your services, but also to let them know that you're on holiday. And why I say that is, I've had the comment made to me that you guys have 3 weeks holiday. That's quite a long summer break. And that's from people in Europe. And I've reminded them that they have just about the whole of August, which is also quite a long summer break. Just our summers are at different times. So, and we respect that. And I think we also need to respect our holidays wherever we are in the world. So if we are taking that time off, but not to let our businesses die or our service. So it's a good time to think about how you're still going to provide service to those people that aren't on holiday and need your service while you're on holiday. So there's a lot of planning and thinking that goes into your holiday, as much as because it's an important part of the business, you know. And I think we've spoken about this before on Explore ProTech, is that your own time out should be part of your business strategy, not an add-on. And it's a really wonderful time to, before we all step into 2024, just to maybe get out there and not think. I know that's impossible, but to not consciously think. And it's amazing what comes to you when you do that. But I think most importantly is to be present with those people that you're going to be with, and respect them in taking the time, why you've taken the time out to spend time with them. And again, yourself. And one other thing that came to mind is, it's amazing, and have this conversation a lot with my clients, is we tend to push through for 365 days or 350 days until we get the 15-day holiday. And then by the time we've unwound and re-energized, which has taken us probably about 12 of the 15 days, we come back and we don't feel recharged. So I would like to add something to that, is maybe we should look, especially as entrepreneurs, but not only entrepreneurs, is to take shorter breaks during the 350 days and do them more regularly and more frequently. And not only us, even those people working for us, that we get re-energized and stay re-energized, and we don't drain ourselves the whole year, and then it takes us 3/4 of our holiday to re-energize again. So I think that's also something to bear in mind, and that's important. So that's Stephen from Dare to Be Coaching and Beyond, and I work specifically with leaders in business because of the influence and the impact that they have on the people they're leading. And, you know, they say we do what you do. We follow what you do, not what you say. So to all the leaders out there, including myself, when you go on holiday, be there physically and mentally. Thank you.
I love that. I love that, Mr. Levy. Oh my gosh, so many good things. And they were asking that on the live chat on Facebook, or not Facebook, YouTube, about what's an entrepreneur holiday. Like, some people don't even understand entrepreneurs taking a holiday. So just really quick, can you explain entrepreneur holiday for us, and then we will move on.
Can you also tell me where I get this whole of August off, please? Because that struck me immediately, and I want it badly. Tell me, Stephen. Tell me.
I will refer you to some of my clients that I'm coaching that have mentioned that to me, and you can have a chat with them. They are in Europe, different parts of Europe.
Not in England, I bet. we haven't got the whole of August off here.
Oh, that's because you don't have summer, James.
It's far more civilized countries where they, you pay vast more amounts of tax and they give you stuff back. It's kind of the way I think it's supposed to work.
I think when you have summer, you will have a holiday. So hopefully that'll come to England sometime. because you only have sun out there. When you have a day's sun, then you say, "Ah, it's summer."
It's sunny
So we
today, I'll
do
have you know.
understand that. Yes, we understand that, James.
It's
So
not.
come to South Africa for the
Yeah,
month of August.
I would like to. I would like to.
In answer to Sondra, in answer to the question that was put forward on YouTube, yeah, I think we must be mindful that entrepreneurs, maybe we don't enjoy the holidays that people do, maybe statutory leave or mandatory leave that people enjoy, possibly in the corporate world or when they're employed by others. But it doesn't mean that we shouldn't have holidays. In fact, I think it's more important, it's extremely important that we do. And sometimes we get caught into the mindset that as entrepreneurs, we shouldn't have holidays or we can't have holidays. Actually, it's extremely important because entrepreneurs we've got so much more pressure on ourselves that we actually, if we don't take holiday, there is one outcome. That's called burnout. It's not sustainable. So yeah, again, I'll come back to the take them more frequently because maybe we don't have the luxury of having 15 days off in August or December.
I love that, Mr. Levy. I love that. Thank you for explaining that. Mr. L, is your audio working now? No, it's not. Go out and come back in and see if that fixes it. Okay? Try that. Okay. Mr. Peter, we will go to you instead.
I was going to ask Lesetja if he would mind trying to do charades, but that might not work. Just a little 2 cents. Most entrepreneurs on the face of the planet face entrepreneurship as like this lonely journey, this lone wolf entrepreneur. They need to go out there and they need to conquer. The problem with that is when it comes time for your holiday, you don't have the time to take your holiday because without you performing, nothing's happening. And if nothing is happening, you're not earning any money. It's you work, you get paid. It creates a scenario where you are in this space where you constantly have to perform, constantly have to work, constantly have to be on top of your game. And then the moment you are given this holiday, it almost feels like you shouldn't be having the holiday because you need to be working. But we can blow that thought process right out of the water. When you build the right relationships with the right people, you build a network of people around you strategically, you almost build your team that would function within your business, within the network that you're building. If I wanted to take a holiday, one of the first things I would make sure that I have in place is a brilliant VA. Maybe take it a step further, a brilliant business manager, or you can take it a step further. You build those relationships, and there's this thing called automation. And now automation may sound automatic, but it does not necessarily work on its own. It takes a person to actually function that automation. And through a good business manager, you can actually build out a space where you can actually go and take your holiday with the peace of mind that the things that are required to be done, those daily tasks, are actually still being done. You've now created a space where preparation for the new year is actually still in effect. You're not taking this holiday, then all of a sudden you've got to come back to the new year and everything is a flat spin and you have to get everything going and almost like crank it up again to get the wheel spinning faster, because that wheel's been spinning the whole time. Things are getting done. Just because it's your business and you're the entrepreneur does not mean that you need to be the one doing it. You just need to make sure that it is getting done. So this is where I would say build relationships with Sondra Ray, build relationships with Sasha. Somerville is like my right hand. Like often she'll remind me of what I'm supposed to be doing. I'll be like, oh shit, you're right. I was supposed to do that. My bad. if you can create that preparation in such a way that your business does not stand still, that your business does not solely rely on you, you take that pressure off. And the moment that pressure is off, you're now free during the entire year to actually do the things that you do as an entrepreneur and not sweat the stuff in the background that you never started entrepreneurship to do in the first place. I never became an entrepreneur because I wanted to do my books. I never became an entrepreneur because I wanted to learn how to do marketing. I never became an entrepreneur because I wanted to understand how do I put this graphic together. Build the relationships with the right people. It just makes life so much easier. I can go on holiday. Actually, we went away for a couple of days recently, and things were still happening. Nothing came to a standstill. And because I've built relationships with people that I trust, people that will reach out and go, hey, this caught my attention, this might need your attention, or hey, this is actually sorted, don't even worry about it. I can breathe. I can take my holiday. I'm going to enjoy my holiday because I'm surrounded by people that are absolutely incredible. So try and enjoy yours.
I can testify to that, as I had my first holiday well, aside from going to see the in-laws, but my first holiday in 4 years to a warm place. And I battled with the idea of taking my travel microphone with me and taking my laptop with me. And then I decided that, no, I'm not going to do it. And I didn't. And it was the right call. It did come in like the busiest period that I've ever had in my entire voiceover career, of course, because that had to happen at that point. But I think it was the right call because it was delightful. I won't lie, to just switch off, and I needed it. For the first time in a very long time, I do feel like I had a proper rest, and that makes a real difference. I think it's very important for everybody's mental health to do that. Very important, because there are just things that are more important than work. So 100%. The one thing I did do, I did some planning for the next quarter. I looked at some goals. I looked at where I wanted to do with some scheduling in terms of social media, particularly video production, which is something I'm going to start concentrating on more for the next foreseeable future, but especially the next 3 months. So that sort of scheduling and time management, I did take a morning out to do that planning, and hopefully that will start bearing some fruit. But in terms of actual doing voiceover, client acquisition, no, nothing. Not sausage. I'm very pleased about it. Lesetja, I really hope we can hear you. Can we hear you?
I hope so too.
Hey, we can hear you. Woo woo woo.
Yeah, technology can be frustrating sometimes. So I raised my hand first because I wanted us, before we get into the topic, just mention a few things, well, I've got a few quotes here about the importance of taking a break, especially for entrepreneurs, because we tend to just work and work and work and work. As long as there's a demand, we keep on working. We never give ourselves a break. So the first one is by Anne Lamott. Almost everything will work again if you unplug it for a few minutes, including you. So you also need to refresh. You also need to just restart so that you can, start working again. And that restarting is actually taking a break and then starting afresh. The second one is it's okay to take a break and prioritize your mental health. Because if you don't take a break, and I know I'm talking to Mr. Levy here about mental health, you just need to take a break, because otherwise, where's your business going to be when you cannot function properly? The third one is taking a break can lead to a breakthrough. When you are there resting, you could be thinking about other ideas, not that you're consciously working on them, but they can just fall into place, so it can lead to a breakthrough. And the last one is, there is virtue in work and there is virtue in rest. Use both and overlook neither. That's by Ellen Cohen. So I don't think I have to explain this. You need to work, you need to take a break. Do it. Mr. Levy mentioned, taking regular breaks, which helps so that when it comes to the end of the year, there's no pressure for you to take a break, especially if your business is demanded over the festive period or the peak periods. You can't close your business then. So you need to prioritize and know, when am I taking a break and when am I going to be working? So refresh, restart, and work. What I do, I don't know what I do. There's so many things that I do. I plan my breaks with family so that when I'm there with them, they'll not allow me to have my phone with, because I'm done. I don't have anything to do. Any urgent calls will be answered when I can get to the phone, because it should be a total shutdown, because I don't expect anybody to be looking for me during my break period, especially, as Mr. Levy mentioned, you need to let your people know that you're on leave or you're on a break or your business is on a break, so that they shouldn't worry you. And that's Lesetja Mokou from Litmok. If you are looking for a business development specialist, or if you want to promote your business, advertise your business, I am your man. Thank you.
I love that. I love that. And I do think it's important to communicate if you're on a holiday and you are not going to respond for X amount of days, because I can tell you, I was the one asking Peter what's going on, and I didn't realize they extended their holiday. So I was like bugging him, and I'm like, hey, and he's like, I'm on a holiday. I'm like, oh, okay, never mind. I will figure it out. We will make it work. So I do think it's important to communicate that. I know in October, with everything that happened, I just went public, and I, with permission of the family involved, and said, look, this is what's going on in my life. My focus is my family right now due to the crisis that's going on in my family, and I'm stepping away. And then when the next week, the date I said I could return to wasn't able to happen, I just extended it. And I said, look, life is still upside down and I still have to step away. But I did want to point out what you said about holidays. Some holidays, your business is going to need to be full swing because of the type of business you're in. So if your business is to, I don't know, create crafts and do things and events around the holidays, that's your peak time. So like you said, maybe in January or February, you take your holiday then, because you're out of that peak time. I know a lot bookkeepers and accountants, they don't take off December and January and February and March, but they might take off July and June and July, because that's not the season that people are driving everybody crazy for their books and stuff. So I do think it has to make sense in your business strategy when you take a holiday. So if December is a busy month for your business in a good way, it might not make sense to take that time off. So to make sure you understand how that's going to affect your business. For sure. And automation and OBM and all the things. Miss Sasha, how do you plan for the holidays? I am sure you are like helping everybody get it straight so they can take their holidays off. Hey.
I'm actually quite lucky. Quite a lot of my clients sync with my holidays. So that is convenient. Not all of them, but a lot of them. So that does help. But I wanted to talk about being an entrepreneur and a mom, because my kids get way more holidays than I do or ever have. And when you're working from home, especially, they now want your attention, and they want to go and do things, and they want to be taken to the beach, or they want to go to the movies, and you're here, so why can't you do it? So luckily my kids are now a little bit older, but that doesn't stop the mom taxi and stuff like that. So for me, it's looking at creating a schedule when my kids are on leave, so that it's very clear to them when I'm available and when I'm not. And if we do, and obviously working from home or running your own business, you have the flexibility of moving your time around, which was one of the reasons for me for starting my business. And so it's when, you know, it's creating that schedule, it's slotting the kids in where possible, it's being very clear to them when you are available and when you aren't. But when you are available, like Stephen said, you need to be available. You can't be, you know, there at the beach with them and be WhatsApping on your phone or trying to take a call, or, you know, you need to be focused on them and you need to be giving them your full attention. And that certainly makes it easier when you need to say to them, I can't do this now, I have a meeting, because they've now had your attention. And that makes it a little bit easier. And not as easy when it's little kids. I think you'll probably need to bring someone in to help you then. But yeah, holidays are a lot harder for me with kids around. Like I said, I've quite a few of my clients sync with the South African holidays. Our summer holidays are over December. And so what tends to happen is a lot of my clients kind of go on a go slow more than a holiday, but they kind of ease off a bit. Everyone just kind of works a couple hours a day and they're on holiday for the rest. But certainly, like Peter indicated, having a trusted support network around you, pulling people in when you need them. If it's, you know, if you do need to go away for 2 weeks and you know you're not going to be accessible, if possible, to have worked ahead of time with some clients, which with some you can do, put processes in place, get some automations going, and then have some people as a backup, that if you need to call someone in to do something that just can't be left for when you come back, or your client needs help you out, you have someone you can trust to hand that over to. There's no getting away from that. You do need to have that. And then also just agreeing with what Lesetja said about taking a break. This weekend, I was incredibly stressed about not having got my social media out. I did not start my business to do social media for myself. And it is a constant headache. And I was so stressed yesterday with trying to do it. And my husband just pulled me aside and just said, what's going to happen if it doesn't go out tomorrow? Really, in all reality, what's going to happen? And when I stepped back and took a thing, I was like, well, nothing really, you know. So he was like, just take a breath, just leave it for a little bit. You know, I was creating more stress than necessary for something that in the long run would not have a major impact if it went out on time or not. And that, for me, at that moment, with some other things going on, I needed that space mentally to just be able to step back and just take a breath and just say, actually, it's okay. I can do it another time. Actually got it out today, so I managed to do that this morning. But I mean, it was fine. And if it didn't go out today, it still would have been fine, because that's my schedule, self-imposed. No one else knows it. So sometimes just listening to that, just taking that break. And you do at some point have to step away from your business completely for some time, because otherwise you have nothing left to come in with. You've got nothing left to give. So I am Sasha. I'm an online business manager from Perfectly Assisted. I create trusted partnerships with purpose-driven entrepreneurs to unlock freedom and embrace a work-life harmony.
Lots of things resonating with me there, particularly, including the summer holidays with the little ones around. I'm lucky. My wife is a school teacher, so I have a 7-year-old who occasionally pops in here and may do again this evening. We'll see. As he's just come back from school. But so my wife is normally off at the same time as his summer holidays, which is an enormous help. I won't lie. But when there's, you have to. There's not much else you can get away with unless you employ childminders through that. And I don't know what it's like in South Africa, but it's flipping expensive to employ one here, daycare for the summer holiday. I mean, really expensive. So it's often not an option, and you do have to kind of fit around your youngsters if you're a parent. That's just the way it is. And also talking about the social media posting, and this is, of course, where being organized is immensely helpful, because if you have a schedule that you can take from one day, but then you can then slot it into a different part of your week, and you managed to get yours out today, and that's very good. I haven't, see, and I'm bothered about that because my scheduling is still not up to where it needs to be. So I have got certain things right, but I'm still not getting everything right, and I hope that that's something that, along with the goals clarified from last week, I'll be able to sort out a little bit more efficiently and effectively over the next 3 months. But it's still very much a work in progress. So yeah, I completely get that. But of course, it's also sometimes family comes first. People have to understand that you're a human being. And from one human being to definitely another one, Peter, up there in the top left. How are you, mate?
Sort of bring about the thought process of we have this topic because we have the holidays looming. They're almost upon us. But why can't we focus on this topic for the rest of the year? Because if you think about it, if we are working in our business and it requires us constantly to function, if we can build the right relationships, and I know I've said this before, but I'll reiterate it, if we can build the right relationships with the right people, and we can put processes in place that certain people fulfill certain roles within our space, where not only are we giving ourselves a little bit of a break, we're also building our business. Because a business run by one person, there are just too many hats to wear. There's the social media, all the emails and responses, and then you've got to take different days to put different days for different tasks, because if you don't fulfill one of those tasks on one of those days, the whole thing is just out of whack. I don't think that without people like Somerville, like Sasha, like Susan, oh my goodness me, like Sondra, I don't think James and Lesetja, I mean, you guys all fulfill a particular role in my space, which is our space. I can't run this show. I don't have the time for it. Do I want to? I would love to be able to, but I don't have the time. But I'm surrounded by people that are fulfilling little roles that build this space where we all benefit. So without you people, like this whole panel, without this panel being situated exactly how they're situated, my space can't function. And I can't do what I'm supposed to be doing and what I do best. So I think I'm extremely lucky. I think I'm extremely lucky. But the nice thing is that everybody in the space has the ability to build the same relationships that I've built, because they're building relationships with each other in the same space. And everybody knows who is the solution to what. So, I think if you are an entrepreneur and you have the ability to be strategic, you have the ability to build relationships, then building the relationship should come first. That in turn actually really does build your business. And at the same time, it requires less of you to function within your business. I mean, at this point in time, I feel like a captain. I'm just steering. I'm not the motor. I'm not the ocean. I'm not the boat. I'm just steering. But things are getting done, and the space builds. Is it all because of me? No, not by a bloody long shot. There are some people in this space that fulfill roles that when they say, oh, I've done this, I'll be like, well, I'm glad you did it, because I don't know the first thing about what it is that you did. Do I need to know what they're doing and how they do it? Yes, I do. I need to understand. But can I do what they do? No. I cannot. I cannot create social media posts. Don't ask me. I'm dyslexic. You'll get it backwards. I There are just so many things I can't do, but does it mean that I don't get to strategically build my business? I'm prepared to take a holiday anytime. And I can take a holiday anytime because I'm surrounded by the right people. I'm pretty sure if I went to Sasha and I was like, Sasha, I need a 3-week holiday. I want to put a plan in action to prepare this for when I get back so that nothing is left standing, that I could have maybe one meeting to discuss what I want, another meeting to discuss how we're going to do that. And then I can walk away with peace of mind and come back into a space where Sasha goes, oh, well, this is what was done. There it is, all laid out, all nice and pretty. And what did I actually have to do? Well, not much. I just had to be strategic. I had to know her. That's it. I had to reach out. I had to have the conversation. I think people are looking at entrepreneurship in such a, in order to be a successful entrepreneur, you need to grind that stone 24/7. You need to be in the limelight, the one that's always seen, the one that's always pushing the. No, it's not true. You have to be the one that knows the people around you. You have to be willing to allow them to know who you are, what you do, what role do they play in your space, what role, importantly, do you play in theirs. It's not a one-way street. Build those relationships, build your business at the same time, and then take the holiday.
I love that, Peter. Yes, that is actually huge. Knowing your resources, knowing your network, is extremely important. We were having a conversation on Friday, and I was like, hey, Peter, like, let's find somebody that knows how to do X, Y, and Z. And you're like, okay. And I'm like, you are the finder. That is your talent. That's not my talent. I'm like, I don't do this part of it. We're gonna have to find somebody else that does that. And like you said, Susan, I literally gave Susan a list of topics for the rest of the year. And within less than 24 hours, they're all scheduled out on YouTube. So you can see all our topics for the rest of the year. They are all laid out, Mr. Brown. They're all laid out on YouTube under the live tab, and you can see them for the rest of the year. So she wrote the descriptions, created the graphics. It's done. And that is Susan's superpower. She will do our timestamps. She will make sure all our links are in for LinkedIn, and she will turn it into a podcast on Spotify this week. So love, 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 love you, Susan. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, I literally did not get her the topics until Friday. Well, it was Saturday morning her time, and she still had it up and around and ready to go. So I love that. I love that. I think that's really important to know what your resources are. Know what people do around you, and keep asking, because people learn and people gain skills, hopefully, around you. So maybe they didn't know how to do it 3 months ago, and maybe Peter did learn how to do social media. You know, people are skill set changes. So make sure you keep asking, because maybe they learned already and you didn't know about it, and you know, they could do it for you, or they can help you, or maybe they've met somebody that is the perfect fit for that job and you never went back and asked them. So extremely important. So actually that brings me to a question. Do you network while you're on a holiday? When you're with all these family and friends, do you talk about your business? Do you network? I'm not saying to sell to them, but to let them know what you're doing. There are people in my family, and I'm embarrassed to say that after 5 years, they don't have a freaking clue what I do. There's people in the circle that don't know what I do, and I got called out last week on it. So I'm a goal accountability coach. I help you set your goals, figure out your resources, figure out your strengths and weaknesses, and help you get your goals met. But there are people still in my circles that don't know what I do. And it's sad because it shouldn't be that way. And that's on me. I have to take responsibility for that and get better at doing that. So when you're with your family, do you talk about it? And, you know, do you find out what they're doing? Because maybe somebody in your family already does something you need help with, and it's your cousin Joe, and they would love to learn how to do X, Y, or Z. So I think I'm putting that question out there. Do you talk about your business while you're on a holiday with your family? Mr. Levy, I'm sure you have thoughts.
Yeah, I do. Inspired by White's words of wisdom that were mentioned by Sasha, Lesetja. I loved your quotes. that you used, because they're so true, and things that Peter contributed that. So Sasha said that, she went into entrepreneurship because then she was able to create flexibility within her life, in her lifestyle. And I think something that came up for me there was literally is, understand what you're going into entrepreneurship for, and also understand what is flexibility for you, because Sasha's flexibility and my flexibility is probably worlds apart. As long as we understand that, what is that flexibility and how are we going to create it? We might not create that flexibility in the first 3 months or so, but we certainly got to work towards it, and we can actually create it if we just shift our mindset about, I think Peter mentioned it, about this, we should be working hard. I think often we caught up in a world where we measured by hours of work and not by how much productive we are. So I think it's important to understand. I learned it very quickly when I consciously, because I believed that the world couldn't run without me. And when I did cut myself off from the rest of the world, I discovered, funny enough, which was a huge dent to my ego, that actually the world did run without me. And it was amazing. It continued, and even my business continued. It was quite incredible. So it was a bit of a blow to the ego, but it was a big lesson. So I think that's important. There was something that Peter mentioned as well about strategic planning. And I think, from in my own business as a solopreneur, and I do, yes, have a team of people around me, but I'm in my own business on my own. But even working in my business where I had a team of people for 17 years was, no business runs positively for 12 months of the year. Every business has its downtime, okay, or its quiet time. And we make provision for that we should be making provision for it in our cash flow forecasts. So part of that time when it is done, maybe as a business in its entirety, or even partly, we're going to have months, those months that you take off, you might not generate the revenue that you do. Make allowance for it when you're doing your strategic planning and your cash flow forecasting. Build that in. Build your holiday time in. You're not going to be generating maybe the revenue, depending on what business you're. I'm not going to. When I'm off now, when I go off between Christmas and New Year, if I don't work, I'm not going to be generating business. And I make allowance. I plan that in the beginning of the year. So it might not happen, but I've planned for it, and it has happened. So we need to incorporate that. And then there's one thing I want to share, because Peter said we'll always be busy. And I want to share, if you don't know, Ariana Huffington. She was the founder of the Huffington Post in New York and built it up extremely successfully. And I listened to an interview of hers, and one of the things they got to was, what do you do? They came to the famous to-do list. And she said, you will never, ever finish your to-do list. And in fact, and these were really words of wisdom that stuck with me, she says, the day that you can walk away at the end of the day and say your to-do list is completed, it's time to find another job or go into another business. And I think it's something we have to bear in mind. We focus so much on not getting our to-do list complete. We should just focus on completing what we should be completed on our to-do list, knowing that they never will be complete. And if they're not, we've still got but then we've got a good business. I think it was really quite profound. So yeah, that's it. I want to share, and yeah, have breaks. And we don't always have to take them over the prescribed holidays. As an entrepreneur, you can take your holiday when it works for your business. But take it.
Thank you, Stephen. Yeah, definitely. It was good to have a bit of some inspiring words for people to try and take on board as well. We have not got a huge amount of time left, have we? So better move on fairly swiftly, as people are still wanting to contribute? Thank you guys, as always. Lesetja?
Well, look, I think, Sondra, I don't have a response, like a straightforward response to you, whether I speak about my business and all that with family when you're on holiday. I think I don't. I think we are there to take a break and recharge. Talking about each other's businesses will get us into the mode of now talking about business. So let's rather not talk about business. Let's rather just enjoy each other's company. And if you want to talk business, there's WhatsApp, there's Zoom, there's Microsoft Teams and all that, where we can all hook up and talk about it. So I think I consciously make it a point that I don't talk about business when I'm on holiday. And then I think I would just want to go back to Peter's point a little, and just to add, if you look at corporates, the CEOs take a holiday. Like, they will go for 4 weeks. They know that the business will run, whether they are there or they are not. The business will run. And in a working environment, you will be forced to take leave. You know, they may say, take a week or 2 weeks leave or that, so that you can go and recharge, because they know the importance of you resting so that you can be productive. Now, if you are an entrepreneur and you don't do that, how do you think you will be productive? I mean, there is no company that will not want you to be at work daily, probably even over weekends, because they know you are working. You are adding to their bottom line. But if they force you to take leave, it means they know the importance of you taking a break to recharge. So recharge, whether it's during like short intervals, whether it's every 3 months, whether it's twice a year, whether it's a long one, once a year, depending on your business, do it. Can I say this? Just do it.
You might have something there with that slogan.
I love it. I love that. Real quick, Mr. Levy, and the last words, and then me and Mr. Brown will wrap it up.
Okay, I just wanted to, because you did ask if we network over the holidays. Yes, I do. And I know that sounds contrary to what I just said about being with my family. I don't network with my family. But when I'm out in the holidays and I'm with my family, and we're with them, and we don't intentionally talk about business. Will it come up? I have no doubt, because it's what we do. But it's not strategic thinking about business. It's not it's a cash. There's a difference. We're not doing business. We're just talking about maybe things that happen in business and that. And if I do meet colleagues or friends of mine over a beer or something, I can tell you that, yes, probably 7 times out of 10, business does come up. But again, it's in casual conversation. So it's not about, I'm not there selling my business. I don't believe in selling my business. But it's not about strategic talking about business. It might just come up in casual conversation. But yeah, I think it's hard to completely disconnect or divorce your personal and your professional life. But we don't intentionally talk. And networking never stops. I don't think it ever stops. And it might not even only be about business. You're networking when you're talking about other things as well. You know, Peter and explore ProTech, coffee first, business later. So I don't think the networking stops. It doesn't always have to be about business. It's about you. You build your own credibility even in talking about things outside of your business.
Thank you, Stephen. I just seeing in the chat there as well that Sasha is going to be networking at the Bryan Adams concert tomorrow. Like, really? I didn't know, like, sort of just yelling it, run to you. I have no idea. Or everything I do, all of these are great opportunities, no doubt. If someone knows the song lyrics along with you, bond over a love of Brian, no doubt. Anyway, if you manage to do it, more power to you, that's for sure. Right. Are we almost done? Sondra? I think we are, aren't we?
Yeah,
Anyone has
you
any
go ahead
final-
and then I'll go.
Final words. No, another interesting topic. Thank you very much, everybody. Again, the hour goes more quickly than we expect. And I'm also glad to hear that people are on the side of taking breaks during the holidays, because it is vital, as I've just discovered myself. And I hope we all get the chance to do that, whether it's beautiful summer weather or cold, rainy weather, because both are fine over the next couple of months. So thank you very much for the contributions to everybody once again. I'm James Brown of James Brown Voice, your voiceover with soul. Hit me up, and I'll pass you over to Sondra Ray to see us out. See you next week.
Thank you, James. Yes, thank you to everybody in the Zoom room for contributing. Love when we can talk about topics and different perspectives. Because yeah, and like Sasha said, you never know who's standing around you. If you're taking pictures and videos and somebody wants your picture or video, they're gonna get your contact information, and you know, things can lead to things. Or somebody hears Mr. Brown's amazing voice talking to somebody at the next table, you know, people can say, hey, what do you do? What do you do? I want to thank everybody on the YouTube channel who is watching. Our amazing Miss Nestine has been commenting, so she has definitely been putting input in over there, including about her amazing co-owner, Peter. So definitely have to check that out. And like we always say, make sure to share, like, and subscribe to our channel. And also you can find us on Spotify as a podcast. And grateful for Miss Susan for doing all the work she does behind the scenes, including making sure all our LinkedIn links will be in the description below, including on the podcast too. So you can schedule a coffee chat with any of us at any point to learn more about what we do. So that's an amazing way to, to get to know us better on the show. And so as I am Sondra Ray. I'm the owner of Get It Done Coaching and VA Services, and I am your goal accountability coach. So I help you set your goals, meet your goals, and hold you accountable to what you say you will do. You can ask about anybody in the room. I will hold you accountable. So in the most cheerful, nicest way, usually. But as Nestine says, our famous co-owner, may all your wildest entrepreneur dreams come true, and we will see you all next week. Bye.